Yes, I think, yeah. So in the last session, we started understanding, so where exactly as a Salesforce administrator or as a Salesforce developer, so we need to work. So to understand that, so here we are understanding, so Apple is one of the client. They have a requirement to have the CRM application. So they identified Salesforce as one of the number one CRM platform, and let's say they tried Salesforce CRM for 1 month, and they're okay with continuing with the Salesforce platform. Okay, so once they decide, they talk to Salesforce sales team, and they take the necessary licenses, and so all the major the live application will be in the production, the Apple company Salesforce production. All the live application and all the live users is going to use. Okay, and day to day to log into that organization. So they open login.salesforce.com. So provide the username and the password and access the application. So mainly there are three applications: marketing, sales, and service. So already we discussed about those applications in the last session. So the next phase is they have the requirements. They cannot use um, Salesforce CRM applications as it is, whatever provided as per the Apple company requirement. They need 100 enhancements. So let's say they identified 100 requirements to enhance and use as part of those applications. So let's say Wipro is one of the company won the bidding because Apple company is not having IT team. They invited some companies for bidding and Wipro company won the bidding. Now this Wipro company, they charge Apple company for the service. So when we get the job, mostly we get in this kind of companies, Wipro, TCS, some of the companies. So this maybe they allocate a manager. So let's say one team lead and let's say 3 team members to work for the Apple company project. Okay. So when we get the job, we get the job in this kind of company will be one of the employee in this team. Okay. So now, so what exactly we need to do? So let's say team lead is one of the experienced person. So they analyze the requirements and they need to start working for the requirements. Okay. So now, so this is for someone who are new to IT, right? Software. So how these requirements will be managed? Okay, maybe already if you are working, you might be knowing. Okay. So in general, companies use some of the project management tools. Okay, so one of the famous tool is Jira. Okay, assume that the company is using a tool called Jira. It is also like cloud based. Okay, how we register to Salesforce in the same way. Jira is one of the tool where multiple projects in the company they can manage, and within the same project, multiple requirements they maintain and track what is happening. Okay, so let's say nowadays, so Jira in that, let's say the Wipro company created a project with the name Apple CRM. So this is the project name. In this project, all the 100 requirements they keep. And now nowadays the thing is, whenever we work in any project, most of the times there is a project methodology. I mean, how we do the project. Okay, so maybe it is not related to Salesforce. Okay, so how the what is the approach we are following to do the project? So Agile process. Okay, Agile is one of the process how we do and so deliver the project. Okay, so maybe this is not related to Salesforce. So nowadays, all companies they are following the Agile process. Maybe when you join in a company, so in that company also they might be using the Agile process. Okay, Agile means we don't work for all the 100 requirements at a time. Okay, so what will happen? We take the topmost priority requirements and work for those requirements for few weeks and deliver, and again take next top priority requirements and work and deliver. So such kind of model we call as agile process. Nowadays, in most of the companies, they are following this process. So maybe so what will happen? So out of all this, okay, so let's say team lead is a technical person, and out of these three members, let's say two members can do admin, right? Admin development work. So one person is for QA. QA means quality assurance for testing. Okay, one person is for testing. Two persons can do admin and development. So let's say team lead is also a developer, admin and developer. Okay, so there are three team members who can work for admin and the dev, right? I'm Salesforce administration and development related configuration. Okay, so now the capacity of the team who can work three members. As per that, they take the requirement, right? So let's say they took three requirements for each person. Okay, so initially the first release. Okay, in an agile process we say sprint. Okay, so sprint means internally release. Okay, in the first release, I'll say sprint one. In the sprint one, there are three requirements. So what is the duration? So let's say based on the project, okay, mostly 2 weeks. In some projects, they take 1 month. It's all based on the project. Let's say 2 weeks is the first sprint duration. Okay. So as part of the first sprint, 2 weeks duration, they took three requirements. So out of this, 1 week is for development and 1 week is for the QA. 1 week for dev and 1 week for QA. Okay, so first 1 week, all the three administrators and developers they'll achieve the requirements and so they will so give to QA team for testing in the first week. In the second week, the QA team, the testing team, they do the testing and if there are any bugs, they'll raise the bugs. Again, in second week also, administrators and developers they need to work and close the bugs. So that's the process. Okay, once this is done, again sprint to two, again one more release like that. Okay, that's what will happen. So mostly we work in these kind of projects. And also when we deal with this sprint, so we need to attend the maybe daily stand-up calls. People say daily stand-up call, meaning daily we need to join in a meeting and update what we are doing. Say I'm working on one of the requirement. This is the progress, and tomorrow I'll be completing something like that. We need to update so that they get to know. So what is happening in the project, right? So we say that as daily stand-up calls, okay? And also before each sprint, they conduct one of the meeting. So that meeting we call as backlog grooming. Okay, so meaning, so what we are going to work as part of the sprint to do. Okay, once the sprint one is done, for the next release, so what are the requirements we are going to work? Okay, as a team, so these team members they'll discuss and decide which is top most priority. We only decide how much time you want to take to complete the requirements and all those things. Okay, so in general, this is a process will be followed when we do the project. Okay, now so you know the process. Now in the first release, they started working for the requirements. So where exactly we are going to work? That's the thing, right? So I'm saying that Apple company production is there, right? Apple prod. Prod means live environment, right? Live environment means all the employees of the Apple company, they log into that account and they use CRM applications. Okay, so but the thing is, whenever we start doing development, directly we should not work in the live environment. Okay, because it spoils whatever the live users they are trying to access. So they might see some errors and exceptions, all those things. Because in the development phase, the application is not maybe in a fully working condition. Okay, to avoid that, not only Salesforce, if you take any technology, we should not directly work in the live environment. Okay, so due to that reason, so Salesforce is offering, right? This is a production. So once we log into production, so you can see the capability to create the sandboxes. Okay, so here sandbox means test environment. Okay, test environment. So it's not real. So the Apple users is not going to log in and use this. Okay, so this is for development purpose, for the testing purpose, when the application is under development and when it is in the progress, that time to use. Okay, so when we say sandbox, understand this is like a for practice, for understanding how application is working, testing, developing, for all those purposes, we use this one. Okay, so from the production, we can create the sandboxes. In general, in most of the projects, the multiple sandboxes will be created. Okay, so we can create multiple sandboxes. So in general, you see in most of the projects creating dev sandbox. QA means quality assurance for testing purpose. QA sandbox and UAT sandbox. UAT means user acceptance testing. Okay, and finally production. Okay, so production is live environment. Already we know. So all these are the sandboxes. So in most of the projects, you see people using these sandboxes. Sandbox will be created from the production. Sandbox is not the live environment. Okay, that is for development testing we use. Okay, so when we work for a project, right? So it's like this is a development life cycle, right? How we work. Okay, so most of the projects, so this is the process. When we start working for the requirements, we start working from the div. Okay, one of the sandbox. We log into the sandbox and start doing the development. Okay, so now how to log into this sandbox? To log into production, I am saying we use a URL login.salesforce.com. How to log into Sandbox? To log into Sandbox, we need to use test2.salesforce.com. Okay, one of the primary thing which you need to know is the URL of the sandbox, because once we get the job, once we started working, the first thing what they provide is access to the sandbox. When they provide access to the sandbox, we should know what is the URL to log in, right? That is the minimum thing we should know when you say you know Salesforce, right? So test2.salesforce.com. So this test2.salesforce.com, to log into which sandbox? We have many sandboxes, I'm saying, right? So to which sandbox we are going to log in with that. So for any sandbox, same URL. Okay. If you want to log into Dev Sandbox, QA or UAT for any sandbox, same URL. But how we know to which sandbox we are going to log in? So what will happen? So we follow some naming conventions. Okay. So whenever a sandbox is created for Dev, so because Dev QA for everything same URL, we maintain. So to recognize we are trying to log into Dev, in the username as a standard, we append with the sandbox name. Let's say sandbox name is Dev. So the username, whatever we get to work as a administrator, as a developer, we get like this: first name dot last name @company.com dot the sandbox name. Okay, so and some password. There can be a different password, whatever you want, you can say. Okay, so in the same way, if you want to log into QA, right? Again, we'll say QA. That same user can have access to QA, can have access to UAT, and all those. So it is possible. Okay, so all we do, we maintain the naming convention so that so when we open this website, so when you try to log in, we get to know. We append this one so that we get to know to which sandbox we are trying to log. Okay, so just understand these things. Okay, and also when we started working, right? Let's say we started working in Dev by logging into the Dev sandbox. So how we achieve these requirements? Okay, so as part of our Salesforce, I'm saying we have administration and the development modules. Okay, so in the process of achieving the client requirements, some of the requirements we can achieve with the point and click tools. Okay, Salesforce is offering point and click tools. Okay, without writing any code, we just go to one of the tool and so configure with the point and click by keeping some formulas. Okay, so if you are able to achieve the requirement within that point and click tool, so that part that people call as configuration or administration, right? Anything we do without coding with the configuration with the point and click, so that part, so people call as administration. Okay, so Salesforce administration. We don't write even single line of code, everything with the point and click. Okay, so for 1 month, we are going to discuss for this Salesforce administration. But some of the requirements, it is not possible to achieve using the administration. Okay, so let's say when there is a team, one person knows only administration, only the requirements related to administration will be assigned to that person. So one of the person knows development also, then the requirement will be assigned to developer. And here one of the point we need to understand. So when you say Salesforce developer also should have the minimum understanding on the Salesforce administration. Without Salesforce administration, directly learning Salesforce development is not possible. Even though you cannot learn first of all. Okay, you should know the basics of the administration. Okay, so for the development, administration is prerequisite. Okay, so if something is not possible, right? So that time we need to write the code, right? So we call as people say customization, right? Customization is a development. Okay, so this takes 2 months and this will be after administration. Okay, first we are going to understand about admin for 1 month. So later 2 months for the development. So in the process of achieving requirements, we might use admin or development. So it's all based on the requirement. So how much administration will be there and how much development will be there when we work for a project? It's all based on the client requirement. Maybe in some projects, 60% only configuration, 40% development. In some projects, more development, maybe less configuration. It's all based on the project requirement. Okay, so it's like that. So just understand. And also, someone who are working as a QA, right? Testing. So they can also do the testing after learning the administration. So if you want to start with Salesforce for any kind of role, let's say as a tester, as an administrator. So let's say you want to apply as a consultant. Consultant means they have to gather the requirements from the client. They need to understand all technical terms related to Salesforce, such kind of thing. So anyone to start with, so this administration is the base. Okay, this is the base. On top of that, the other things and all we need to explore. Okay, so just understand these things. So now we know. So different kinds of roles will be there: administrator, developer, tester, consultant, business analyst. Right. So any kind of role, admin is the prerequisite. Okay. So now I'm saying that this sandboxes and all these things can be created from the sandbox. So let's see how we create and all those things so that you understand how exactly the project starts. Okay. So now already we registered for one of the developer edition account in the last session. Let me log into that account, right? So, but I also told that developer edition account is a free account and we cannot create the sandbox. Okay, but I'll be opening one of my paid account and show you how we can create the sandbox. So first let me log into our account. So login.salesforce.com and we know the username. So this is a username. And also for me to remember this daily is like it's very difficult because I have many Salesforce organizations. Okay. So I'm creating just a bookmark. Okay. If you want, you can also create. And if you feel it is your personal laptop, right? Personal system. Okay. Don't do it in the public system. Other people also can see our password. We are also keeping the password in the URL. Okay. So because for me, daily opening and remembering is difficult. So I'm just creating a bookmark by appending the username and password. Right? So for us, the username is this one. Okay. So this one I am keeping. Okay. So it's equivalent to I'm going to open login.salesforce.com, providing the username and the password and login. Instead of doing that, so I have a bookmark. I'm just going to click on this one so that in the URL it is going to append username and password and we login. Okay, but it's not recommended if you are sharing your screen and showing to someone or doing in the public system. Okay, because someone can see your password. Because for me, it is fine to share. I'm doing this. Okay, and also this is my personal system and no one can access this. Okay, and also when I try to log in, it is asking for the mobile number. If you want, we can give. Otherwise, you can say I don't want. Okay. So the purpose of this one is, so if you see, even though you know this username and password, if you go to this website and try to enter username and password and log in, you cannot log in. It additionally asks for the verification code. The verification code will come to my email address. Right? If you want to get that verification code to the mobile number, if you give the mobile number by choosing your country, you will get the message to your phone. Okay, so that's what will happen. So it's easy for us to see the mobile and enter the verification code. Okay, for me, If it is my personal account, I give, but this is a class account, so I don't want to get to for my phone. Okay, so just I am saying I don't want. So in your case, you can say you can give number so that you get the verification code to your mobile. So it won't ask verification code every time. It check for the browser history. Okay, in our system, first time when you are trying to log in, so that time along with the username and password, Salesforce also asks for the verification code. Okay, just understand that. So now here to create the sandboxes in general, left side we search for the sandboxes. So, but if you see there is no option because it is a free account. Okay, now I'm going to log into one of my paid account. For that also login.salesforce.com, and I'm just pausing my screen for a few seconds. Okay. So once after I log in, again I'll share my screen. Okay, so again I'm sharing my screen. Okay, so if you see, this is one of the paid account. Okay, if you go to the Salesforce editions, so there are unlimited edition, enterprise edition, different editions are there. So this account is a enterprise edition. Okay, so let me open the company information. So go to the company information. Okay, maybe this is our account. See the URL batch 100. Here also go to the company information and compare. Okay. So here we have already we saw we have only 5 MB space. So that's the main thing. For the paid account, as a default, they give 10 GB. Okay, so this is a paid account. And if you see this edition, organization edition, it is enterprise edition, right? So this account is having space in IND23 server. Okay, so just so understand this one. So now see the data space. This is a paid account. If you see 10 GB space is there. Okay, in the free account, if you see only 5 MB. So that's the one of the major difference. And if you go back in our account, in our free account, and if you see user licenses, Salesforce license, we have 2 licenses, free licenses. We did not pay anything. But if it is a paid account, this is a paid account. Okay. So if it is a paid account, you see how many Salesforce licenses? Only one. How many we purchased? Those many. Okay, I purchased only one license, so only one is there. I cannot log in as other user. Okay, the thing is, and also, even though it is a paid account, since it is enterprise edition, right? So we took license only for sales. You cannot see service application, right? You cannot see marketing application. Only sales you can see, right? So the thing is, in the paid account, based on the edition, there are some limitations. Okay, developer edition is like unlimited. You can say access all applications and everything. But the limitation, we can have only 5 MB data. Only that's the major limitation, and we cannot create the sandbox. So, but even though here limitations are there, even though there is only one user, so since it is a paid account, from left side we can create the sandboxes. You can click on sandboxes and you can create the sandbox. Okay, so if you see here already there are few sandboxes. So dev, QA, training and UAT, So all these are the different types of sandbox. I mean, different sandboxes created. Okay, so it's not that for sure all these things should be there. It's all based on the project. Mostly you see dev QA and UAT. Sometimes for user training, also create the sandbox with the name training, staging, many things. Okay, and also all the sandboxes, the server locations, right? Each sandbox will be in a different Salesforce server. Okay, so if you see CS means customer sandbox. So this dev sandbox is in CS 113, one of the Salesforce server location, right? So like that. So same thing you might not see in the developer edition. That is fine, right? So all these things daily we don't create the sandboxes. It's like a one-time job when we start the project. So one day you might get opportunity. That day you can see like this, and the creation is very simple. It's not much difficult. Okay, so just understand that. Okay, for now we don't bother about the sandbox. We do everything directly in the developer edition account, one of the free account. But once we get the job, we
Hey,
can log into
hi
these
Srinivas.
sandboxes. Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt. So
Yeah.
I have one question here. So how many maximum sandboxes that we can create on the developer version, and what will be the size for each one limitation?
So in the developer edition, we cannot create any sandbox, right?
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. So if you see this is a developer edition account, you cannot
Okay.
create sandbox. There is no way.
Only on the enterprise version. Okay.
Only in the paid accounts. It can be
Okay.
enterprise or unlimited, right? In those accounts, we can create the sandboxes. How many we can create? It is based on how many licenses we have based on that. Okay.
Okay. And
So
the size, any
as a
size limit
default,
for it?
sorry.
Any size limit for each sandbox?
So data space size limits are there. So when you try to create the sandbox, so based on the type, there are different types of sandboxes. So if you choose developer, system allocate
Okay.
200 MB. If you go with the developer pro, 1 MB. So like that, right? So if you go with
Thank
the
you.
partial copy type, 5 GB. So full same as source, meaning what is the production capacity? Same, right? In my case, my production size is 10 GB. For full copy sandbox also 10 GB. We can increase the size. Let's say client need more space, not 10 GB, they need 20 GB. So they can talk to Salesforce and increase the capacity. But for that, Salesforce they take the additional cost. Okay, so it's like
Okay.
that. And about these types, I'll explain little later. Okay,
Okay.
so what
Thank
is
you.
this type? When you choose developer, what will happen? Developer pro, what will happen? Little later, we are going to understand. Okay,
Thank you.
yeah. So any other
I have one
questions?
doubt. Shall I ask now?
Yeah.
Yeah. For paid account, we can able to add new users. Previous class we have added other users in our company also. Like paid account, we can add other users also.
Yeah, you can add if you have license, right? For the
Yeah.
paid account, we need to purchase the license, then only we can add. Okay, in my
Okay.
case, in this account, there is only one user. If I want to add one more user, I need to pay to Salesforce. Then Salesforce allowed to create one more user, right?
Okay.
So it's like that.
Like paying means we have to pay entire amount, or like same way we are taking paid account, right?
Yeah, so you need to pay. So for each user monthly, right? Let's say monthly $300 per user. When you pay, you need to pay for 1 year.
Okay.
Okay. So if you want to take 5 users licenses, 5 multiplied by 300 for 1 year. Okay. So you need to pay. Okay. That part we don't involve basically. Okay.
Mm.
So when you work for any client, so that level, that payment things we don't do. Okay. The management will take care. Okay. So we involve from creating the sandboxes and doing that. Okay. This is also when you have very senior resource or when you have huge experience, mostly the higher level team they do. Okay. So when you go with the 3 years, 4 years, even you also don't do these things. Okay. Already sandboxes will be there and we log in and work. That's what we do. Okay. So yeah, just understand
Hello,
this.
sir. Hello,
Yeah.
sir. I have a question. Uh,
Yeah.
we in developer edition, the same ID can be used to create more accounts.
Yeah. Same email address you
Email
can
ID.
use.
Okay.
Okay. But username should be different.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if you see, I have 100 accounts.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But all these accounts, same email address I'm using.
Okay.
The
Mm-hmm.
difference is with the username. Okay. Now for this, the username, this is unique.
And all of
Okay.
them can be connected to our Trailhead account. I mean,
No, each one trailhead account is different, right?
okay.
So when you say trailhead, I think the other people don't know.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So trailhead for other people, trailhead is one of the Salesforce website. So where they are offering some of the topics, and we need to go through those topics, and they also ask some questions, and so for our practice, okay,
Mm-hmm.
so they are providing some topics to practice. So this is if you register your developer edition account, you can use your developer edition details to log in and connect.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what will
Mm-hmm.
happen with the same email address? If
Mm-hmm.
you have multiple developer organizations, so when you
Okay.
try to connect with the Trailhead, Salesforce is identifying all those orgs and connecting to one place. So that might happen. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
So it's not that everyone is going to work together here. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
each of you will be having a separate Trailhead account, and each one should have their own practice. Okay,
Yes. Okay.
yeah. So any other questions?
I
Thank
I have a question. I have a question on the apps. So there is an
Yeah,
app called Service and Service Console, and the same thing for Sale and Sale Console. So what's the difference between those?
yeah. So the look and feel, there is a difference. Okay, so mostly service is a straightforward. Service console means the way how the application looks, that is different. So mostly in the support projects, I mean, mostly the support employees, they use this service console. Okay, so within the service console, um, they can see the multiple different tables information together in single place, right? It's very quick to see more information. Okay, such kind of interface.
Hmm. Okay. Okay.
So so that you see, understand going forward. Okay.
Okay.
So for
Thank
your
you.
question, difference with the interface. Yeah. Any other questions? Okay. So now the next thing, what we need to know, just so you know the process now, right? So
Sir,
mostly once we get the job, yeah,
I have one question.
yes,
In
yeah.
real time, which edition we use? Development or
So that's what I'm saying. See, whatever developer edition you work, 100% in real time also, exactly same thing you see. There is no difference. Okay. Only the difference is the space. Okay. In the
okay.
developer edition, you see 5 GB, sorry, 5 MB space, which is very low. In the paid account, you see more. Okay. And maybe you cannot create the sandboxes in the free account. In the paid account, you can create. Other than that, everything else is exactly 100% same. Even if you see, I'm showing my paid account, enterprise edition. So when compared to this, the developer edition is having more features, right? So here I have only sales application access, right? So in developer edition, we have sales, service, and marketing, all applications access. Okay. So which edition you use is based on which client you work. Okay. So my company is a very small company. So I took enterprise edition. Some companies, so if it is a big company, they take unlimited edition, right? It's all based on the company. Okay. So it's not guaranteed that we get job only for a project where they are using unlimited edition, where they are using enterprise edition. Okay, we don't know on which project you will be assigning and work. Okay, so once you understand the developer edition, what we discuss as part of this course, 100% you can easily work in any kind of project and edition. Okay, so it's like that. Okay, so any other questions, anyone? Okay, so I believe now you know so all these things. So now, so the next thing what we need to know, we should know about some of the Salesforce affiliated websites. Okay, so when we start, so if you see here, there are many websites. Already you know about this website. By this time, I'm expecting all of you to open this website and sign up to have your own account. The class account access from tomorrow, I will give access. Okay, you can log in and you can see what I configured. The class arg access, whatever I am going to give, only for the reference to see what I am doing. But the practice you have to do in our own account. Okay, most of the times what is happening, people are trying to log into the class account and trying to create or delete something. You should not do that. Even you cannot do that. I provide access in such a way. Okay. So you have to do your practice in your account where you sign up here in the developer.salesforce.com. So don't sign up in other websites. Okay, so maybe sometimes people open this and since they see try for free, from here, if you try for free and sign up, it is only 30 days free trial. After 30 days, it will expire and you cannot get it back. Okay, whatever you practice, you want to again see and understand, right, in future. So that's why. So for sure, 100% go to this website and sign up and have the account. So once you sign up to log in, no need to again go to developer.salesforce.com and day to day to log into your Salesforce. Go to a website called login.salesforce.com. So it's like a production. When you register for the developer edition account, whatever we get, it is like a production. Okay, you need to open this and work. Okay. So in our case, when we register for developer edition, we cannot create Sandbox. That means we cannot log into Sandbox. Directly we do in the developer edition, whatever production is there, same thing. But in real time, right, when real time in real project, we don't directly make changes in the production. First we work in Sandbox, then only we deploy to the other production. Okay, so just so understand that. So this is a life cycle. So as a developer, as administrator, we work here. Once after completing configuration or development, as a administrator or developer, we do unit testing. That means we test our whatever we configured, we test ourselves. If you are satisfied, we deploy to QA. Okay, so QA means the test environment. So here the testing team, they do the testing. Okay, so let's say we are working for Wipro company. So Wipro employees, they do the administration and development, deploy to QA. QA also so they have one QA from Wipro team. They do the testing and they maybe find some bugs. Again, we need to fix and deploy to QA like that. Okay, how we deploy and all going forward, you will see. Okay, so once all the bugs are closed, okay, so now they deploy to UAT. UAT means user acceptance testing. So most of the times UAT will be done by the client, right? So who is our client? Apple, right? We are working for Wipro, and the client, the project, what we are working is for Apple. Apple is our client. So Apple employees, some of the Apple employees, they log in and do the testing. User acceptance testing is Apple company employees should satisfy for what we develop in the Wipro team, right? So once they satisfy, even if they find some bugs, again we need to fix into, again our testing team, they'll do the testing, and finally it will be moved to UAT. Again they'll do the testing. Once they sign off, finally it will be deployed to the production. Okay, so production means the live environment where they can start using our feature, whatever we develop. Okay, that's what will happen. So just understand most of the times. So that's what we see. So the other things here. So trailhead. This is for someone who starts with Salesforce. This is for anyone, as an administrator, as a developer, as a consultant, as a business analyst, as an end user. End user means who use the application. In our case, Apple users are the end users who use the application. So they want to understand about the new features on how we use the Salesforce application. This is the one. Okay. So on day to day for your training, after training, for your practice. So I also recommend to do some of these trailhead modules. Okay. So once you have the developer edition access, once you log in, so you also go to this trailhead.salesforce.com and click on login. Okay, so try to give the whatever the developer edition username and password you registered. Same thing, try to give. Again, if it asks you to provide the details, you can again provide the details and log in. So otherwise, we also have option to log in through email. Okay, you can also choose, right? So you can also choose your Gmail, which is associated to your developer edition, right? Let's say when you are registering, you gave one of your Gmail address. So you can say login with Google and log into that Gmail, so that automatically, so you will be logged in. Okay, I think that is one of the easiest way. So once you log in, okay, so let me try to log in, and I'll show you. You'll be logged in, and also so you can maintain your profile. Okay, going forward on Salesforce, there are more than 30 certifications. Okay, so to start with, mostly people do Salesforce admin and developer certifications. We'll talk about that slowly. So the main thing is here on day to day. Here also, if you see, I'm suggesting this admin beginner, one of the trailhead module. Yeah, once you go here, search for admin beginner. You can search for it. I think there is a typo, or maybe copy this and directly straight forward. You can go to that. Okay. Just I'm showing one of the module. So we'll be having many modules. This is a trail that there are many modules. Under each module, you will be seeing many sections. So you can click here and you can read. It's like a game. So Salesforce is saying it is like a game. So where we read and answer some questions and do some assignments, and we get some points. How many points you get? Like that much, right? It's like a game, right? When you play a game, you get some points. You compare with your friends and say, I reached this level, right? So all those things in the same way here. Okay, so the badges and the points, how many more points you have, how many more badges you have. So that much trainings you took on the trailhead. That's the meaning. So especially if you are a fresher or even experienced people, to showcase your profile going forward. So this will be good. Okay. So for that, so you just read everything whatever Salesforce provide here. Okay. And finally, they also give some challenge. So they ask you to log into your account and so do this and right. You can also launch it and do it. Okay. And once you do in the arc, we also check how really you did whatever as per what they are asking. So maybe for some of the modules, they give some multiple choice questions. We need to answer and check. Okay, based on that, you get the points. Okay, so the points will be added to your profile. Okay, so your profile, this profile we say trailblazer profile. Okay, so every Salesforce resource means whoever is working on Salesforce as an admin or as a developer, they'll be having this trailblazer, right? They'll be having. So going forward, this will be useful. And also, if you do certifications, you can also add your certifications here. With your experience, if you do more certifications, that means you are that much um, having more skills, and it is added advantage to your profile when you are applying for the job or when you are internally in the company to get the project. Clients, they see how many certifications we have and how many badges we have, all these things. Okay, and also you can follow your friends or someone, your colleagues, right? Someone will follow you. So all those things will be here. So since you are starting newly, from day one, I think if you have this profile, after a few years, if you see, right, you'll see a good progress with your profile. Okay, so even some of these trailhead trainings you can take through your mobile. Okay, so either in Android or App Store, you can download Trailhead and you can also take some of the challenges through the mobile. Okay, so I strongly recommend all of you to have the account here and progress. Okay, so that's about that. Yeah, any questions? Since it is
Sir,
not, yeah,
this profile is accessible to public, right, sir? Trailhead profile.
it's up to you. If you don't want to show, you can control. Right? You can say if you don't want to show your certifications, you can hide it. Right? It's
Okay.
all how you configure. You have the control on what you want to show.
Yeah, I mean, the reason why I'm asking is suppose if I'm trying with some experience, so people will know when I created this profile and when I did my certifications. Will it
Yeah,
create
so
any problem?
certification, you cannot lie, right? You cannot
Yeah.
say I did certification 2 years back. That anyone can track, irrespective of this trailhead profile. Okay, so we cannot lie for them. Okay, now also if you take, you can say previously I have, but it is expired or something. You can say, or maybe I did not, my company did not reimburse, and recently I did. You can do that, right? So it's
Okay.
not a matter when you did, you have it or not. Maybe it might be yesterday or maybe last week. Okay,
Okay, okay, sir. And
so
one more,
yeah,
sir, one more question. After we take certification, do we need to maintain that certification? Is it not like one-time thing?
yeah, it is not one time. Once we take the certification, so yearly maintenance is there. So before to that, you have to renew. Okay. So basically, for me here, everything is active. Here it will say you are due with the maintenance, and before that date we have to. So renewing is nothing but completing one of the trailhead module. Okay. So here we need to complete one of the module so that your certification will be maintained. Yeah, for your question, maintenance will be there yearly. Okay.
Okay,
If you
okay,
don't maintain, you will lose.
okay,
Okay.
sir. Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So maybe anyways, since we are discussing about this, so if you want to for India, if you are in India, certification is not 100% required. Okay. So if you want to do, you have to pay $200 for each certification. Okay. So to start with, so there are two certifications. So we have, if you see the URLs also, I have Web Assessor Salesforce. So for admin to start, we have Salesforce administration certification. So it costs $200, right? $200 plus tax as per the country. Okay, so that's the fee. So this one directly, you can go to this website. Registering in this website is free, right? You can register for free. But while booking the exam, you need to pay. Which exam you are booking? So that time, $200 plus tax you need to pay and give the exam. So for developer, so the basic certification. So platform developer one. This is one of the certification, again $200 plus tax. So if you are in India, these are not required. Okay, I mean, if you have, it is okay. If you don't have also, still you can apply for the job and get the job. Okay. So once after getting the job, if you take, your company will reimburse. Otherwise, we need to spend from our pocket. But if you are in other country, especially in US and Canada and UK, so you should have these certifications. Without these certifications, you cannot apply for the job. First of all, your resume won't be shortlisted if you don't have. Okay, you need to take these certifications. Okay, so just understand. And sometimes there might be some coupons. So when you do the proper progress with the trailhead, you will also get some coupons. Okay, so if you see here in the trailhead, so here you see something like tests. Okay, so sometimes they say within this month, 30th November, if you complete one of the module, one of the training, whatever they are suggesting, you will be getting a voucher of certification. Maybe $100 discount voucher. Maybe, so you see all those kind of things here, right? So complete any super batch between November, win 200 certification voucher, right? So if you really do this, okay, complete any super badge. Super badge means if you once you start taking, you will understand. So it take lot of time. Maybe really take that much time. So if you complete that, you can claim for that. You'll get the voucher, and while booking for the exam, you can use this voucher, and the exam is free for you, right? You can also do like that if you want. Yeah, but this is not that much easy. Right? It's not like simply in 2 hours you can complete. It take maybe 50 hours or 100 hours also. Okay, so just get to know these things. So and tomorrow I'll explain about the other affiliated websites and continue with the real things. Maybe these are the theoretical things. Once we start, everything is practical. Everything I'm going to configure, and you need to follow that and practice in our account. Okay. And also for you, so how I'm going to give some assignments and practice and all those things from tomorrow, from the regular sessions. So I'll be providing. So there is a website here. So you need to enter your email address and login. So that automatically you will be logged into the class account. So not now, tomorrow I need to configure. So whatever the class account we have, into that you can log in. Okay. And also here, whatever I am suggesting, that Railhead, and also there is a recruitment app PDF where you can follow and practice. And I have a website for interview questions. You can go to that website and read. Okay. So all those things. And also there is a WhatsApp group. You can join and you can so collaborate with the other members. So, and soft copies and all, mostly I'll be attaching to this organization where I'm teaching. Based on the need, you will get the soft copies to your email address. Okay, so there are many things. On day to day, I give some of the assignments. Okay, so all those things are there. Okay, so we do all those things from tomorrow. So tomorrow, the meeting link will be changed. Okay, so if you are fine with these demos, you can pay for the fee. Already I sent one email so that you will get the updated meeting link. And so check for your email, including spam folder, and so you can join. Okay, so if you pay fee, just please ping me in WhatsApp or mail me. That is the proof for me. Okay, I don't have the automated system. Okay, so I'll update, and so that you will get the meeting in. Okay, so any questions before ending?
How about this one? Fee structure. So it can for administration separately we need to pay, and the developer we need to pay separately.
So that you can ping me. Okay.
Yeah.
You can ping me or call me. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So basically, you can see in my website. Okay. So already it says whatever I shared there. You can see. Anyway, you can ping me. We'll talk. Okay, so any other questions?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Yeah.
In the quest, if we complete like if you see the center one, the B super and get set quest, and if we are winning that 200 Salesforce certification voucher, is
Yeah.
there any time limit for the test? I mean, for the certification course, or it will be valid for for a long time?
So that's, I think we need to read their terms and conditions.
Okay.
So that I'm also not sure. It's all based on their terms and conditions.
Like, why I'm asking,
Okay.
like, suppose I finish this super batch and I got a $200 Salesforce certification voucher, but if I'm not ready for the certification, will it valid for a long time so that I can use it later?
Yeah, maybe you can schedule it after 2 months, and
Okay.
keep on. You can reschedule even after 1 year, 2 years also. That is possible.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Okay. We'll continue tomorrow. Thank you.